6,200 Sarawakians expected at LAN BERAMBEH event, high time for women leaders, and improving women's representation. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Handy Gui and you're watching TVS Nightline. A total of 6,200 Sarawakians based in West Malaysia are expected to enliven this year LAN BERAMBEH Anak Sarawak 2022 on Saturday. Its organizing chairman, Dato' Sri Fadila Yusof, said the majority of the crowd comprise of working adults and students from Sarawak residing in the Klang Valley area.
Tahun ini kita terpaksa limitkan kepada maksimum about 6,200. Itu maksimum lah, termasuk sekretariat dan sebagainya. Biasanya kita open kalau tahun-tahun yang lepas sampai 16,000 yang datang. Tapi kali ini sebabkan endemik, masih dalam COVID and so on. So kita kena berjaga-jaga jugalah. We have to comply with all the SOPs and so on. That's why limit to 6,000. Alright, and majority are students.
At the same time, Fadilah added that there will be a total of 28 booths run by representatives of various agencies and companies throughout the event. The booth aims to disseminate information as well as government services, especially in the development agenda of Sarawak. He told reporters after conducting a site visit to the event's preparation at the Malaysia's International Trade and Exhibition Centre, MITEC, on Friday. The event made its comeback after 2 years hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic and is organized by the Sarawakian Volunteers Association, Sarawak's government, as well as collaborations made with the Public Relations Office Sarawak, based in Kuala Lumpur.
With a general election looming, political parties and coalitions are committed to fulfilling the 30% female representation. Political analyst Professor Dato' Dr. Jayum Jawan said the 15th general election will probably see an increase in the number of women leaders to empower women's political representation and gender equality, as the current representation stands at 14%, as disclosed by Women, Family and Community Wellbeing Minister Dato' Sri Rina Harun.
So there is a fair number from the Chinese and from the Malay community, but we have yet to see anybody from Iban, from the Bidayu, and also from the Orang Ulu community. So I think it is about time, it is high time, and I think leaders who bring in women as candidate, good woman meaning not beautiful woman, good woman mean educated, have the experience, necessary experience to become a leader, who are brought as candidate. I think we should express support to the wise leadership, that portray this woman as a potential lawmaker come the 15th general election.
For the record, the number of female leaders in the legislative body has never exceeded 15%, with the highest being 14.86% in the Dewan Rakyat, 11.42% in the Senate, and 11.57% in state legislative assemblies since independence was achieved 65 years ago.
There is a growing recognition of enhancing women's participation in electoral processes, which are aimed at increasing the number of elected women to decision-making positions, notably in government. Hence, the role of women in political parties is therefore a key determinant of their prospects of political empowerment. Political analyst Professor Dato' Dr. Jayum Jawan said potential women candidates should be more aggressive on the ground, staying in touch with the grassroots as much as possible. They can do so by listening to their aspirations and identifying different needs. Such a strategy is proven useful and may influence the voters in their respective constituencies to secure the people's support.
Just like everybody else, you need to convince the voter that you are a better candidate. You have to tell the voter what is it that you want to do for them. So you have to know their sentiment. You cannot simply put up a menu that they may not want. So you have to do some research, some groundwork to determine what is it that the voter wants. So you cannot simply, I want to do this and this and this for you. If the voter doesn't want that, that is not going to get you any vote.
He told this to TVS when contacted. He further stressed that the potential women candidates should address and champion the people's needs based on issues that are affecting the voters in their respective areas.
Your campaigning should be based on issues that affect voter in your constituency that you are contesting in, because issue from Sri Aman, Lubuk Antu, Samarahan may differ, but of course generally the issue facing Sarawak will be the same, but local issue, specific issue to the constituency may differ slightly, so you have to understand that.
At the same time, he stated candidates who are competing in the upcoming general election must refrain from making unrealistic promises during the campaign period and focus on ways to improve the service deliveries.
Now, Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS can serve as the representative to champion the rights and interests of Sarawakians at the federal level. PBB Supreme Council member Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jafar said this could be made possible if it receives a huge mandate come GE15, and thus urging Sarawakian voters to give their utmost support to the ruling coalition party.
In a statement issued today, the Santubong MPs expressed his gratitude to the voter in his constituency for giving their support for him to be their elected representative for 4 terms since 2004. He further stated that during his 13 months of becoming minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Parliament, some significant changes in the federal constitution were successfully implemented. He hopes that the upcoming general election would be a good platform for Sarawakians to build good national stability and ensure the well-being of the Malaysian family, be it from West Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak.
In a bid to accelerate development in Sarawak, more Sarawakians MPs should be appointed as cabinet members with key portfolios in the federal government. Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu Vice President Dato' Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said Sarawak and Sabah need representation with ministries from both states as they have better understanding of which areas that need to be developed locally.
Harapan kita adalah, harapan saya adalah ahli-ahli politik daripada Sarawak dan juga Sabah, our MPs, selepas pilihan raya nanti mereka akan dapat diangkat untuk menjawat jawatan-jawatan penting, kementerian-kementerian penting dalam kerajaan pusat yang boleh dapat membantu membangunkan the two states, the two Bornean states. Bila saya katakan important ministries, because ministry ni dia ada dia punya hierarchy juga, protokol juga. There are certain ministry which is very important. Kalau kita lihat, memang pada masa ini Sabah dan Sarawak agak jauh ketinggalan dari segi pembangunan. Jadi kita memerlukan kementerian yang mana menterinya berasal daripada Sabah dan juga Sarawak. Karena mereka lebih faham tentang di manakah area yang perlu dibangunkan.
Abdul Karim had no intention of discriminating against ministers from Peninsular Malaysia. However, they hardly visit the two states. Therefore, how would they know what is happening in Sarawak and Sabah? and hope that such the mindset on this matter needs to change, and those who are going to become Prime Minister must ensure that this disparity in development doesn't get any wider. He opined that the new cabinet that will be formed after GE15 should be moderate in size.
There are many ways of accommodating. There are many ways of making the wilayah happy. They can always introduce DPM 1, 2, 3, 4. Terpulang. Daripada nak menubuh sampai kabinet sampai 30-40 orang. You can reduce that. Maybe you can enlarge the DPM if that helps. If that helps to make everybody happy. Why not?
Adding further, he said that once GE15 is concluded, Sarawak will look into the proposals and the need to fill the country's number 2 position.
Now, GE15 will still proceed even if several states refuse to dissolve their respective state legislative assemblies, says Prime Minister Dr. Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. He acknowledged that every state has its right to dissolve its state assembly at any time.
Saya mencadangkan, mengesyorkan kalau boleh diadakan secara bersama. Tapi since keputusan telah dibuat oleh 6 negeri ini, jadi pilihan raya akan diteruskan seperti biasalah.
Ismail Sabri said holding the GE15 and state elections separately will only cause inconveniences to the people who will have to come out twice just to cast their votes, and will definitely incur higher costs for the Election Commission (EC). On past decision to strengthen cooperation in Perikatan Nasional (PN), Ismail Sabri, who is also UMNO Vice President, said UMNO had already expected it. PAS has every right to make its own decision, he said, adding that the UMNO President, Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi, had also announced that UMNO and Barisan Nasional (BN) will go solo in GE15.
Now, Sarawak Tourism Board (STB) deservingly landed 2 gold awards and gained international recognition at this year's PATA Gold Awards 2022, organized by the Pacific Asia Travel Association. During the same event, Malaysia won 3 out of 23 gold awards categories, namely travel photography, travel videos, and culture.
The 2 gold awards won by STB were from the travel video and culture categories. Its promotional video, titled A Journey Awaits by Faithwork Studios, won the Travel Video Gold Award, which invites travelers to Sarawak through its portrayal of the state's enchanting beauty, culture, heritage, and natural wonders. While the second gold was contributed by the virtual experience of the 2021 Rainforest World Music Festival, organized by the Sarawak Tourism Board, a creative twist that allowed music lovers to enjoy the festival from the comfort of their homes during the pandemic. Meanwhile, Tourism Malaysia backed the Travel Photograph Gold Awards through mesmerizing photo entry of a man flying a traditional kite by the coast of Terengganu.
ONBN to go solo. 5 killed in North Carolina shooting. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, UMNO and Barisan Nasional BN have decided to go solo in the upcoming GE15. BN Chairman Dr. Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said, by doing so, BN coalition could maintain the party's image that had always focused on moderation and its ability to restore stability and prosperity for the people of various races and religions in this country. Such a decision came following PAS's decision to strengthen its collaboration with Perikatan Nasional PN for the coming polls.
Earlier, past President Abdul Hadi Awang said the party had resolved to strengthen cooperation with PN to unite the Ummah in a decision made during the party's Central Committee meeting. Meanwhile, Zahid had reportedly said that UMNO would only return to the negotiation table with PAS if the latter met three conditions. First, to leave PN. Secondly, to sever political ties with Bersatu. And lastly, to officially declare that it had separated from PN and Bersatu. Ahmad Zahid, who is also UMNO president, said although PAS decision was expected, the party had never closed the door on efforts to unite the Ummah with sincerity and honesty. Meanwhile, PN Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, in a statement on Facebook, said PAS decision to remain with PN had lifted the spirits of the coalition and encouraged it to be more organized and united in gaining the support of the people. As such, the Bersatu president also hoped that PN will receive the people's mandate in GE15 to form a government that will truly focus on their well-being and prosperity.
Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin is preparing several health-related proposals for Barisan Nasional's consideration to be included in the party's manifesto for the GE15. He said it included the Control of Tobacco Products and Smoking Bill 2022, and the proposals would be submitted to UMNO Vice President Dr. Sri Mohammed Khalid Nordin for further action.
Menteri Kesihatan, saya tengah prepare dan dah hampir siap. Saya tengah prepare beberapa cadangan yang akan saya hantar kepada Datuk Sri Khalid Nordin. Dia Vice Presiden yang bertanggungjawab pada manifesto. So as a health minister, saya cadangkan mungkin ini boleh ditimbangkan.
Khairi said this when asked if the generational endgame GEG anti-smoking bill will be a part of BN's manifesto in GE15. When asked to elaborate on the other health aspects expected to be included in the manifesto, he told the press to wait and see. On October 12, Khairi said he would continue supporting the Control of Tobacco Products and the Smoking Bill 2022, regardless of his position after GE15.
Now, Sarawak Police have sufficient personnel to deal with the possibility of the state being hit by monsoon floods during GE15. As such, Sarawak Police Commissioner Datuk Muhammad Azman Ahmad Sapri said the help of personnel from outside of Sarawak is not needed for the time being.
He explained that his team remains ever ready to face any circumstances and there is enough manpower to ensure a smooth election.
After this SPR meeting, then we will prepare. From the last PC, I told you that the Sarawak Police prepared and we have enough manpower.
He told reporters after attending a high tea ceremony with the media at the Sarawak Police Contingent IPK headquarters on October 13. Earlier, Muhammad Azman was reported to have said that a total of 7,063 personnel of the Sarawak Police are preparing for GE15. He said his team will also use the experience gained during the Sarawak state election last year for the purpose of assigning duties to personnel. On October 10, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob announced the dissolution of Parliament to pave the way for GE15 to be held. The Election Commission will hold a special meeting to discuss and determine the important dates of GE15 on October 20th.
Now, individuals who are COVID-19 positive but not in critical condition will be allowed to vote in the G15. However, according to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, they will have to comply with the strict standard operating procedures to be announced by the Election Commission or EC.
Nur Hisham disclosed that only patients of COVID-19 for categories 1 and 2 only will be allowed to go to vote in the upcoming GE15. At the same time, he added that the staff's ministry will be on duty during the election to ensure a smooth and safe election process.
Ada SOP setakat ni, kalau kita lihat SOP sekarang ni berbanding dengan tahun 2020 berbeza sikit. Jadi kita punya SOP sekarang ni untuk melihat hanya keparahan kes saja. Kes positif mungkin ada, tapi mereka kena pakai mask ataupun face shield untuk datang ke pusat mengundi lah.
Among the SOPs include the proper practice of hygiene and wearing of face masks. He added that there are no prohibition for non-vaccinated individuals to practice their rights as voters.
And released, while another is in a critical condition.
The shooting broke out at or near the newest River Greenway, a trail that runs through part of the city. Nearby residents were told to shelter in place. Multiple law enforcement agencies took part in the manhunt, turning neighborhoods into crime scenes flooded with first responders. About 3 hours later, police said they contained the suspect in a residence near a wooded area, later reporting that the suspect, described only as a juvenile white male, was taken into custody. Police have yet to offer any details on how the shooting unfolded, nor the circumstances of the suspect's arrest.
Chinese President Xi Jinping will take the stage on Sunday to kick off a historic Congress of the ruling Communist Party, where he is poised to win a third term that solidifies his place as China's most powerful ruler since Mao Zedong. The Congress comes at a tumultuous time, with Xi's adherence to his zero-COVID policy battering the economy, while his support for Russia's Vladimir Putin has further pushed China from the West. The roughly week-long Congress will take place with around 2,300 delegates, mostly behind closed doors, in the vast Great Hall of the People on Tiananmen Square.
The opacity of Chinese politics, which has been heightened since Xi assumed power a decade ago, means party watchers are left to speculate over who will be named to key posts and what those appointments means. Nevertheless, few expect significant deviation in direction during a third Xi term, with continued focus on policies that prioritize security and self-reliance, state control of the economy, more assertive diplomacy, and a stronger military and growing pressure to seize Taiwan. The Congress will conclude with the introduction of the next Politburo Standing Committee, PSC, the elite body that now numbers 7 and that Xi has become to dominate. The Congress will likely begin with Xi reading a lengthy report in a televised speech that will outline broad brush priorities for the next 5 years.
Iraq's parliament on Thursday elected Kurdish politician Abdul Latif Rashid as president, who immediately named Mohammad Shia al-Sudani as the country's prime minister designate, ending a year of deadlock after a national election in October last year. The presidency, traditionally occupied by a Kurd, is a largely ceremonial position. However, the vote for Rashid was a key step toward forming a new government, which politicians have failed to do since the election.
Rashid, 78, was the Iraqi Minister of Water Resources from 2003 to 2010. The British-educated engineer won against former President Barham Saleh, who was running for a second term. Meanwhile, Sudani, 52, previously served as Iraq's Human Rights Minister as well as Minister of Labour and Social Affairs. Sudani now has 30 days to form a cabinet and present it to Parliament for approval.
تشرفنا اليوم باستلام كتاب تكليفنا بتشكيل الحكومة العراقية الجديدة من فخامة رئيس الجمهورية الدكتور عبد اللطيف رشيد، متوكلين على الله ودعم شعبنا الذي تجرع الألم وبذل أعز الدماء وأغلى التضحيات. سأبذل قصارى جهدي في تأليف حكومة قوية وعازمة على تنفيذ أهدافها وبرنامجها من خلال تآزر القوى السياسية بترشيح شخصيات كفؤة ومهنية ونزيهة قادرة على إنجاز مسؤولياتها. سنسعى لإجراء انتخابات محلية ونيابية في أجواء حرة ونزيهة وفي ظل نظام انتخابي شفاف يطمئن كل المتنافسين.
According to a military statement, Thursday's vote, which was the fourth attempt to elect a president this year, took place shortly after 9 rockets landed on Thursday around the Iraqi capital's green zone. At least 10 people, including members of the security forces, were injured in the attack. Meanwhile, similar attacks took place last month as the parliament was holding a vote to confirm its speaker.
See the world closer with TVS. As we bring you the latest news update both locally and internationally, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. That's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching.
Pendekatan yang digunakan masyarakat tempatan adalah dengan melukis mural buruh wolf atau kuli.
Persahabatan dan impian hancur kerana hasutan dan